Hey there, and welcome to I Sell the Pine. So what is I Sell the Pine? Well, back in 2016, Wood Magazine did a year-long set of issues from issue 238 through issue 244 on how to earmark about $150 out of each paycheck over the course of the year to be able to get all the tools and fixtures and everything you would need, accessories, jigs, to have a fully functioning shop in any open space you have in your house, whether it's in the garage, in basement, whatever you have available. What I'm going to be doing is adapting this as I build my own shop here in my home garage. A little bit about me: my name is CJ Krim. I started Creator Hobby Furniture back in November of 2011. We started off building mainly game furniture, hobby furniture, built-in fixtures for people who are luthiers, ammunition reloaders, cosplayers, tabletop gamers, just a wide variety of people that may not have the option of going to American Furniture Warehouse or Woodley's Furniture or any of these mini furniture places and be able to pick up something that's designed specifically for their hobby. And so that's what we started doing. We just built all kinds of different things. Most of the stuff that we built was built out of one or two workshops. At the time I had a business partner, he worked out of Bailey, and then I had a wood shop that I worked out in Watkins here in Colorado. But now that I live in Roxborough, which is about an hour southwest of Watkins, it's gotten harder and harder for me to be able to build furniture, especially with having a day job, relationships, family commitments, things like that. So what I've been dying to do is build out a garage shop for myself, because I want to be doing a lot more woodworking, not just for Creator Hobby Furniture, but also to just kind of play around and kind of test new techniques and ideas and theories that I have on things I want to build stuff for my own home. For other family members, I've got cousins with kids, and I'd like to be able to build them old-fashioned wood toys that'll really kind of stand up to, them fighting over them and whatever, playing outside with them, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what brought me to wanting to build this shop. I thought that what was a really good idea was the outline that they have in Wood Magazine's series to kind of document that as I go along and help other people who might be trying to do the same thing. So as we go along here, we're going to be going over things like what I personally would feel are the minimum cost items to purchase, not necessarily the ones that they recommend in their series, but things that I think are a decent enough quality for somebody who's very budget-minded or doesn't have a lot of money that they can earmark towards building a shop, the basic stuff that they need to be able to get started. I'm going to go over my choices when I'm picking. A lot of the stuff that I'm looking to do is either rigid, Ryobi, or Porter cable. I grew up around those fixtures. My grandfathers, my father, my uncle, they all used a lot of those tools. They did dabble in some other stuff like Makita and Hitachi and DeWalt especially. I might get into DeWalt a little bit more for hand tools. But for power tools, I feel that a lot of what is offered by rigid, Ryobi, and Porter cable are adequate enough for most home shops. If you're not doing this professionally as a living, I think that you'll be okay with those. And then I'm also going to go up to the max. If you're somebody who you do want to make this a full-time gig, maybe you're a fellow battle brother or sister who got injured in Iraq or Afghanistan or someplace, and you basically confined to your home and you want to do something and be able to maybe make a little extra income for yourself on top of that common pen or disability that you might be getting. I'm going to basically let you know what the top of the line ones are, so it might be something you actually can make a full-time living out of with those critical and Festool, Powermatic type saw stop tools that are out there. So we'll go over all of those as each paycheck rolls around, and we look at what things we're going to be purchasing and making from there. As we go along, I am going to post links to the articles, plans, and videos that are in Wood Magazine's series. We're going to also probably link other things. I have a lot of, in fact, I pretty much have access to every magazine that has been issued since the 50s, between what I've inherited from, again, my grandfathers, my uncle, and my father, to the awesome things that the companies that are still around do, like Wood putting out USBs or DVDs for their entire PDF catalogs, or Fine Woodworking does it, American Woodworker, you can find Popular Woodworking still out there. I might have those reversed, but I mean, there are a lot of the different wood magazines over the years, whether it's illustrated carving type magazines and scroll sawing and that kind of stuff, all the way to the full-fledged handyman type stuff. There's a lot of those available for PDF, especially collections and CDs or DVDs or USBs that you can purchase. And I recommend getting those, and I'll reference some of those things as well, because we're in a great age right now where you can get access to just about any kind of information you want. And if you really want to make a solid hobby out of this and really push your ability and challenge yourself to do new things, there's plenty of options out there for you to do. So I want to make sure that as this channel progresses, beyond just the first year of building the shop, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road, that we've got plenty of content to bring to you on a weekly basis, maybe more, that you can go out and get those issues yourselves or whatever, and try new techniques, try old techniques that may have been lost, and maybe we can research some of these techniques that our forefathers in the woodworking industry have done. There's a lot that I hope to do with this channel. Also, we've got plenty of YouTubers out there that have kind of paved the way from Whisper, who lives up in Livingston here, great guy. We've got Morals, we've got Jay Bates, we've got Abel Wilkerson. I mean, there's so many people at Keynes. There's just so many people that have done great channels, and I think it's a really good community. A lot of these guys, Macaroni, all of them, we come together, we collaborate, we share ideas, and we really just want to help build this community and help people, get to that next plateau. If you feel like you're kind of getting a little stagnant in an area and you don't know how to really challenge yourself to bring yourself to the next level or be more creative and stuff, there's plenty of people out there to help. We've also got this series that have been on television. We've got the Woodsmith Shop. We had Tommy Mack was running Rough Cut for a while. My friend Scott Phillips with the American Woodshop on PBS, going on 20 some odd seasons. New Yankee Workshop. The reason that I'm uploading this video today on the 7th of January is because it's the 30th anniversary of the first episode from the New Yankee Workshop, and I feel like that's a show that really got a lot of us who have this desire, or at least even just the interest to sit back and watch this kind of content into it. I remember growing up with my family, that's what we would do on Saturdays. The New Yankee Workshop would come on, I'd sit down with my mom, my dad, my grandparents, whoever, and we would just watch Norm make all kinds of amazing things. Really nice guy, really brought it down to a level where anybody could feel like they could get into this. No matter how challenging it was, he opened the door for people to try something that they never thought they could do before. That's something that I hope that I can bring to any of the viewers of this channel. So going back to the plan, we're going to basically set aside some money each paycheck. I'm a little bit fluid with how much I can spend, so I don't know if I'm exactly going to be on the 150 mark or something. I'm going to track what I'm purchasing as we go, and at the end of each episode, I'm going to go ahead and give you an average of what I've spent so far. And I'm only going to track what I'm actually purchasing because I do have tools already that I can use in here. I don't have everything. I don't have a table saw or planer or a jointer yet. I've got my drills. I've got my impact driver. I've got my circular saw. I've got some tools that I don't need to go out and purchase. And that's one thing that they bring up in here is that buy some but save the rest. And if you already have one of the tools that they talk about in the series, go ahead and make it and invest in maybe a higher quality tool, or maybe get caught up on something you don't already have. The series assumes that you already have a set of tools just by being a homeowner or a renter or something. And we'll do a close-up shot talk about this in just a moment here. But if you already have those tools, you're set. If you don't, but you have some of these other tools that they tell you to get later on, just use that fun to get caught up on some of the stuff that's missing here. Really, ultimately, there's 4 things that they say, and I agree with, that you have to get started. Number 1, you've got to have your safety glasses. You need to be able to have something that encloses all the way around your eyes and will protect you against any kind of chips or anything that might come flying your way. You need to make sure that you have your hearing protection. Hearing is precious. I've already got some pretty bad hearing because I am a combat vet. I spent 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, both of them on the flight line, sometimes in firefights. Things get loud when you have rockets coming over the fence and blowing across the street from you. Those fighter jets, as they take off, really, really loud. So that's already ruined some of my hearing, and when you factor in power tools and things like that, I don't want to ruin it anymore. So make sure you've got a good set of headphones, or earbuds rather, to protect your hearing. A really good respirator is what I recommend. I really like this one. As you put it on, it has, you'll see me often as we film in the future here, there's a way to be able to just kind of loosen it and have it drop down so I can continue to talk to you without having to take the respirator off. I recommend a very, very good one like these 3M ones that have the pads that come off, so that way you can get the different coated ones for different things you're doing, whether it's woodworking, spraying, sanding, whatever. You can even use them for yard work, pesticides, things like that. Get the right filters for the activity you're doing, and just go ahead and pop them on, and you'll be all set. So I highly recommend this. And then really, the last thing that you really need is a good tape measure. They recommend about a 12 or 16 inch, which is probably perfectly adequate. I like a 25-foot one. Sometimes I work with really long boards, so that's one of the reasons why I like having an extra long tape measure. I also like this one because this one from Ryobi already has the fractions of the inches on there on one side, and then your like they're actually labeled and so forth. We'll zoom in on that a little bit here, but that's one reason why I really like this one. But more often or not, just a little 16 or 12 foot one should be fine. If you know how to do your fractions and everything, you're good. I just like the ability to measure something out. I like the ability to just measure something straight out, see exactly where 7/8 of an inch is, and just mark it. So that is one of the reasons why I like this tape measure. I've seen other ones that have those features on them as well. They're great. The final thing is depending on what you're doing, you may need an extension cord. For me, I've got one power outlet so far in this garage. There's going to be another episode that's there's going to be probably multiple episodes that dive into additional fixtures on how to enhance your shop, from the lighting to the electrical, so on and so forth. I am technically a renter. My cousins own this house, so I rent from them. And at this point in time, I don't have the right to be able to rewire out here or insulate, and things that I would love to do in the shop, especially if I do end up buying this house off of my cousins. But it's just not something that's reasonable for me to be able to do right now. It's not my right. And even if it was okay by them, I don't know how comfortable I am investing in a property that I may not own, because it'll just increase the value when they sell it to somebody else than to me. So, but I do have an outlet over there. I really like battery tools. That's one of the reasons why I like Ryobi so much. I feel like there's decent power with most of them, especially because they have so many different battery pack sizes that you can use. They're the only company I know of that has a multi-charger, charging 6 batteries at once, rather than just having a whole bunch of individual chargers, or at best dual chargers, like I've seen with DeWalt and some other companies. So I just keep the battery charger up by the electrical outlet that I've got there, and it does just fine for me. Now, if you prefer getting corded tools, option corded tools are a little bit cheaper than the battery operated tools. You will probably end up needing to get an extension cord. I do have one extension cord here. It's a pretty high quality one. This one is rated for, let's see here. yeah, this is a 12 gauge, 25 foot heavy duty one. So this is something I'll be using on maybe more of the stationary tools like the table saw and things when I get them. I also do have, I'm just sort of they do not sponsor me. I just love a lot of their stuff. They've got a garage door opener with a whole bunch of accessories that you can put on there, intercom, security camera, Bluetooth speaker, and then one of the ones that they have is a quarter wheel here. This is 12 gauge. I believe it's only rated up to 10 amps, but it's another cable that I've got right in the middle of the garage. So if I do have to plug something in, as long as it's less than 10 amps, or I'm not sharing it with anything else that goes over 10 amps at the same time, I can just plug it into this. But I mean, if you've got wiring and so forth, you might not need the extension cables. If you're going to be running off of batteries mostly, you probably won't need an extension cord until later on down the road till you actually get yourself any of the stationary tools. But that covers a lot of it. We'll do a zoom in and we'll talk about a few other things here that they recommend. I don't necessarily find as necessary very often, occasionally, but not often. So we'll zoom in on those in just a moment here. So as you can see here, guys, I've got a couple extension cords. We've got the wood magazine issues that they recommend all the things here. I've got some screwdrivers. Personally, I like using bits, and then I will either use my drill or driver, or if necessary, one of these here, because the little bit goes right in here. So that's a good thing to have. But really, this is where I prefer to have my screwdriver sets. I just feel like these are kind of a waste and take up space. This helps you kind of use a little bit more of a confined area. We got some slip lock pliers. Never really use those. I tend to use more the wrenches and socket drivers that I've got. I got this for my 16th birthday for my dad. So I've been using it for my cars all these years, and I use it here in the garage too anytime I do need to be using sockets or anything. Comes with Allen's wrenches as well. I've never really had to use a hammer before, but all the power tools I have used have been pre-assembled, the stationary ones, so that would explain why I haven't had to use one. It's good to have just in case, but I am a screw guy. I tend to use screws on everything, even inside the house. And I would rather show you guys how to build your own mallets or use some rubber mallets over the next year, because I feel like they're a little bit safer when woodworking. But who knows, there could be when I buy one of the stationary tools I need a hefty hammer, and that's what we've got right there. We've got our tape measures, the 16 foot and that 25 foot that I like that's got the fractions of the inch, like I wanted to show you here. So as you can see, typically with tape measures, they're going to be like the Stanley one up on top. You know, they've just got all your fractions on there, and that's it. You know, you do need to measure twice, cut once, but I prefer this Ryobi one because it's got all these little fractions here on the bottom, so I can see immediately, okay, I'm at 4 7/8, 4 3/4, things like that. So that's why I prefer this one. But the chances of me measuring something 25 feet long in the wood shop is pretty rare. So that's where I definitely agree that something like a 16 foot might be better for you, or a 12 foot. But I personally like this, and if you can find the style so if you can find one that has these marks on it, I highly recommend going that route. Finally, we've got our safety equipment. We also have a hacksaw here. I've never had to use a hacksaw. Almost every single time I've ever had to use a hacksaw, I've generally just used a bolt cutter, which is done just fine for my purposes. And then of course we've got the safety gear right there. Always have hearing protection, always have eye protection, and I highly recommend always wearing a respirator with the proper filters on it. It's just a really good thing to have on hand. The other thing that they say is if you want, you can also purchase all of these as an additional check. Sometimes depending on what year you're viewing the series, there's 27 pay periods for people who get paid bi-weekly. as opposed to 26. So you just need to, you don't own any of these things, you're just getting out on your own for the first time, just start there. Add that extra paycheck at the beginning of the year, get all the principal tools here, the hand tools that you'll kind of need, and then kind of go from there. Like I said, we're going to be talking about evaluating your space. That's going to be something that's going to probably take a couple different dedicated videos that I'm going to sprinkle on throughout here. You want to make sure you have enough space to be able to do anything. Honestly, I feel like as long as you have a one-car garage size space, you're going to be fine. Say 10 by 20 feet, you can do a lot with 10 by 20 feet. If you don't have to share it with anything, that is the minimum space. For me, this is a garage, I've got yard tools, I've got mechanic tools, I've got roommates who have their stuff out here, so I've got to share this space. I feel that in the second or third year as we go on here, there's a few projects that really kind of help increase the organization and efficiency of your space. So there's a few other projects that I'll introduce later on that will help to make sure that you're making the most of the space that you've got. You'll find a lot of the YouTubers all have day jobs and they do this on the side. There's actually very few people who do make a living out of this. For those that do, God bless them. They're doing something they love, and that's great. But for a lot of people, making a living on YouTube, or even just woodworking, doing both at the same time is not a feasible thing. If that's what you want to work towards, any of us would be happy to help you get to a point where you can do that for a living. Myself, I do like having a day job. I do like the benefits and the security and everything that comes with that. So this is more of a side job for me, both the YouTube and the Random Creator Hobby Furniture. But you do want to evaluate your space. You want to utilize it to the best of your ability. You want to have enough space that you'll be able to build up some benches and fixtures. You want to be able to have space to store your tools. You want to be able to have like a good bench to be able to do things at a comfortable height. So generally, as long as you can set aside that 200 square foot area, 200 to 300 square foot area, you'll be able to do what you can. So yeah, that's basically what I'll cover there. So yeah, that's basically a rundown of what this series is going to be. Every payday, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick video over the weekend of how I spent the little bit of money on that I needed to build anything. If you'd like to see the outline of what things we're going to be tackling, I encourage you to go get the Wood Magazine issues 238 through 244. You can usually get the backlog, the hard copies from the Wood store. You can also, I believe, get PDF copies of them. You might have to get a thumb drive, but I think they might also do individual PDF copies of them. So I will set up links for each of those issues in the description to this video. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll get links to that. We'll get links to other items that I recommend as we go along. I'll add links to the products that I endorse as that minimum and maximum quality and that minimum and maximum budget option that's available to you, as well as whatever it is that I do purchase or in some instances already have on hand, like circular saws and so forth. In between the paydays, every 2 weeks, I will be doing another video. Sometimes the videos will just kind of dive a little bit deeper into some of the techniques or the terminology that's in woodworking. So if you are a new person, we can kind of bring you up to speed to other individuals. So look for those. I also plan on doing some episodes where friends of mine will come on in and we'll do projects that they want to do. Sometimes you're going to find this a lot. There's people that they would like you to build something for them, but they can't afford your labor cost, let's say. They can afford the materials, but they can't afford the labor cost. That's not as big of an issue for me because this isn't necessarily my livelihood. What I do in those circumstances is I tend to have them buy the, like I'll help them design the project, I will help them buy the materials, and then they will come in and we will build the project together. I'll show them how to build it themselves. So that's something that you'll see too, is I've got a few people that are interested in doing that. So there'll be episodes that we put up where we look at what we've got on hand and they come on in, we bring in all of their materials and we kind of show them the basics and just kind of let them go at it and assemble the thing that they want to build. So there will be things like that in there. There's also plenty of projects that I would like to do. They recommend some projects as you go along, as you get a certain number of tools. Little things it tells you, hey, here's some projects you can purchase from our website that you can build. Some of them aren't really projects I'm interested in. Some I would actually really enjoy building. So we might be able to do those together. I'll kind of leave that to you as we're going along here and you're following in these same footsteps. I'll put the links up in those respective videos that correspond with the magazine. What projects you can purchase from them, and if there's a project that I want to work on, I'll probably go ahead and go through the process of showing you how I built it and link you with the site that I got that plan from so you can buy it yourself. At this point in time, I don't plan on doing a lot of my own projects. I would like to, but I kind of want to wait until after the first full year stuff and I've got everything in the shop that we really need. So for now, I feel that it would be better for me to link to these other sites, these other resources that are out there, so you know where to find these resources and what options are there. So you don't have to rely on me, you don't have to rely on another YouTuber. There's plenty of these resources out where you can go peruse their sites, their plans, the things that they've got, and maybe find exactly what you're looking for to build. So that's kind of where I want to focus this first year, and then as we get on from there, that's where we'll probably start going into SketchUp, designing. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. I personally don't actually use SketchUp. I use Adobe. I've got the entire Adobe Creative Cloud for the video editing here, as well as the editing I do for other hobbies such as tabletop gaming. And so because that comes with Illustrator and I have a nice iPad Pro, I can just sketch up my designs on there. I'm just more old school that way. I prefer having a pen and paper, or in this case a tablet. I've used graphic paper for years for most of the designs that I've done for creator hobbies. I've never really learned SketchUp. It's probably something I will end up doing because it is a very good skill to have, and there's a lot of people who want to know how to use it, but that's way down the road. I want to focus on beginners here and people that are just kind of bit by the bug and want to get into woodworking a little bit more. So yeah, I hope that this is a good start for you and that you'll follow me along. Please don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you enjoy it. It's a new series, so you get to watch me from the beginning. Nothing's pretty from the beginning, but hopefully by the end of this first year here, we've got some great videos for you. The community's built up around this channel, and maybe we can get to having some of you viewers, if you're in the Denver area, come on out and work on some projects in years 2, 3, and going forward. So with that, have a good one, and I will see you in 1 week.